Hello. Okay, a couple of little thoughts jumped into my head recently, and it's just watching people. I'm a great people watcher, person watcher, and I always have been, and I think I've always have been. Since a child, I used to watch people. I can remember occasions when my mum, bless her, she would be having a cup of tea with a couple of her friends. I'd be sat there. We all learnt to make tea very early, at about age 6. It doesn't happen now, but we did. And she would say, go and pop the kettle on, make us all a cup of tea. So I'd go and make everybody a cup of tea, and I'd sit there and watch my mum with a couple of old ladies. I thought they were old, when you think they were probably 35, 40 at a push. And I used to watch them, and I used to think things. I used to think, I wonder what she's thinking. I wonder why she's here. I wonder if part of her is not here and she's thinking about her children or her husband at work. And I used to think, is she truly happy? Why does she live here? Things like that. So I'm a great people watcher in lots of ways, really. And I think what I see sometimes is that people are not worthy. They don't feel worthy. How else could I word it? They don't feel good enough. That's probably a better term. They really don't feel good enough. And we all know people like that, don't we? We know people that shy away from everything. The people at work who sort of sit in the corner, out the way. Not just that they're shy, then they might not even be shy, but they just don't feel worthy. They don't feel good enough for some reason. And when you watch people, you see that they're always chasing something because they don't feel good enough, so they end up chasing things. Oh, if I get that next job, then I feel good enough. I'll be worthy. If I get married and have kids, I'll be good enough then. Or if I buy a house or a car, then I'll be good enough. They don't feel good enough until they achieve all these things. And of course, achieving all these things, they will never feel good enough anyway, because once they've got that, then they want this. Once they got this, they will want that, and they go on and on and on. And I've always said, it's about kind of accepting yourself and what have you, really, to feel good enough. But I think, rightly or wrongly, I think that people are searching for their spiritual side of themselves. That's what I think. So when they don't feel good enough, they're not actually searching for material goods or life-changing events such as getting married or changing a job or moving. I don't really think they're looking for that. I think they're looking to wake up. I think they're looking to open themselves in their spiritual way, to find out who they really are. Everybody's got a sense of self, but the sense of self that we've got is just created by our environment, by our job, where we live, our name that was chosen for us, whatever. But none of that has got anything to do with the spiritual side. So when we chase those sort of things because we don't feel good enough, so we start chasing whatever, money or a marriage or a job or whatever it is that we start chasing, we will never achieve what we actually want to achieve, which is actually to wake us up on an inner level, a more spiritual level. And I think that's what people are really seeking. That's what I believe. So as a great people watcher, that's what I kind of come up with, really. And it's very difficult to open yourself up on a spiritual level. Isn't something, I don't think, is something that you can be taught. I think you can ask lots of questions, read books, watch this video, whatever. You can do lots, really, and it gives you lots of ideas and lots of questions and things like that. But going back to the not good enough, I think in your formative years, what you're told and what you go through and what you experience and what you see can set you up to fail in many, many respects. So if you don't feel good enough because you lived in a rough area and you joined a gang. You don't feel good enough because, I don't know, your dad didn't love you enough, whatever, you know. Then you will always not feel good enough, you know, until you let go of those things and actually look for the spiritual side of yourself. Actually look on the inside. Then you'll realise that of course you're good enough. In fact, you're better than good enough, you know. But yeah, I've watched people all of my life, and that's what I've come up with so far, really. I mean, that and a million other things, but I see people sometimes, and I get this sense of self that they're going through, but they're not happy. They're never happy when I experience that. I went shopping yesterday, and there was a woman, and you know, bless her, she got the trolley before me, that was all, and she looked at me, and I sort of half smiled, and she just ignored me really, but she looked deflated. She was dressed a bit scruffy, she was tired, you know, no makeup or whatever, not that you need makeup obviously, but yeah, no makeup, no nice clothes, no nothing, just doing the same as she does every single, whatever yesterday was, Tuesday is it, I don't know. You know, and I thought she is so deflated. Her sense of self, that's what she is. She's a mum of, I'm making this up, you know, she's a mum of four, in a sort of loveless marriage, in an area that perhaps she doesn't particularly want to live. Can't remember the last time she went on a holiday, etc., etc., you know. But I think, you know, she probably spent her life feeling not good enough and thought, if I have kids, I'll be worthy, I'll feel good enough, and if I get married, and if we move to that house, and if my husband gets that job, and if I do this and I do that. And she's never looked on the inside to see what it is that she actually does want. And that's really, really important. You know, true inner peace, true contentment, true knowingness, and a true sense of self can only come from within. It's within you already. It just lies dormant, you know, and it needs waking up. Certainly in some people, this woman, for instance, you know, it needs waking up. Some people have a great sense of self. If you look at a sportsman or perhaps a pop star or whatever, you know, they've got a big ego, they've got a great sense of self. This is me and this is what I do. It doesn't mean that they're spiritually awake, it just means that they've gone through lots of different things and they've found what it is that does work for them. Okay, it may not be on a spiritual level, so it may not come from within, but it's, I'm just keeping an eye on this bloke. There's a bloke there playing with his dogs, and you're not allowed to play just out here where I'm parked. I do, and so does he, and that's cool. He only arrived last night, but obviously I keep an eye on Bodhi. His dog is, he got two dogs, and he got a big black lab, and the big black lab did a shit earlier. Now luckily, he did it over on his pitch, if you like, you know, his part of grass, and he's been out there playing ball. Again, and the shit is still there. So I've just been from a shower, and I just said, "Morning, mate. It's going to be a nice day, isn't it?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "I see you're playing ball. We're not allowed to." He said, "I know." I said, "Be careful." I said, "Your dog's done a big shit there." He said, "Oh, I didn't realise that." And what he's doing with the ball, sometimes he throws it too far, and it comes right down here onto my area. I don't want to be stepping out into his dog's shit. We're going off tack there, aren't we? Really? Great people. I see. I'm a people watcher. I'm watching him. What is a people watcher? Is it a nosy bastard who watches somebody not pick their dog shit up? Maybe that's what it is, I don't know. But yeah, to feel more worthy, to feel that you really are good enough, is to let go of all the things that you once thought were you when they weren't good enough. In other words, if your parents told you you weren't good enough, or your school, or your work colleagues, whatever, you know, who are they? They don't know you on the inside. They don't know the spiritual part of you. So of course you're good enough. You just need to wake up that part to realise that you are good enough. You're probably more than good enough, really. Anyway, just my thought of the day, really. We're doing well. Yeah, we're doing very well, me and Boats. It is going to be a lovely day by the looks of it. I woke up very cold this morning, 8 degrees. We've had the heating on for an hour or so, it's 22 degrees I think. 21 according to that, 22 according to that. So yeah, I don't know what to do. I might just chill out here today, or I might have a walk down to the beach. I think that would be nice, really. I might do that, actually, thinking about it. The trouble is, there's always a problem, isn't there? I don't want to be putting a great big jacket on to walk down, because it's a cold air, you know. So I don't want to walk down there and carry the bloody jacket all day, which is what I do sometimes. But anyway, we can make up our minds what we do. Still watching, aren't I? As long as you stay on your own area, mate, then that's absolutely fine. But if your dog comes over here, if it does one thing, then I'm out the door. So, anyway, I know that it's not my dog, because my dog is only out when I'm out. Yeah, so, again, if you don't feel worthy, you don't feel good enough, ask yourself, why is that? Ignore the sense of self, ignore who you think you are. You know, because a lot of people think, hello, I'm Fred, I'm a dustman, or you know, I'm a policeman, I live here, I'm divorced, I'm a father of 2, I've got 30 quid in the bank, whatever. And that's not actually who they are, that's kind of all the stuff around them. But the inner self, the true inner being, the spiritual part, is what you need to wake up if you don't feel good enough. Because I think we all are good enough, and those that feel that they're not good enough is simply that they haven't woken that part of themselves up. That's what I think. Okay, mate? Yeah. Okay, take care then. Be well. Try and be beautiful.